They know that we're building future pipeline. So as I've told my CEO and CRO several times, even though we're just in September, and I actually said this back in July, I'm already thinking of 2024 pipeline. And so that takes time because we're doing the heavy lifting on the brand building. That's what takes time. But the SDRs and our regional sales directors are going to be much more efficient if we're helping to open up the door simply by making sure that our brand is recognizable by the time that they're going to do their prospecting and their outreach. And so when that time comes, it's going to be easier for them, which is going to reduce cycle time. It's going to reduce the number of times that they have to actually outreach because our brand's going to be already familiar to the buyer. So it's going to make it easier for them to get in if we've done our jobs right. And so the way that I sell it simply is what could we do today to remove some friction to keep deals moving that are in pipeline? And here's what we're doing to build pipeline for next year because today's brand is tomorrow's demand. And when I explain it, and it's not lost on them, we've all been in this industry, it's not lost on anyone, the length of the time and how many people are involved and having the right message. The message to the chief financial officer is going to be very different than the message to the chief digital officer. And we have to have a way in order to communicate and build that message across different formats and different channels. They understand that. And so it's dual, but I can't do the long view without getting points in the short term. And so it's that parallel path. And I think any marketer should be looking at it from that perspective because that's where you're going to start building trust with your CRO. That's where you're going to start building trust with your CEO as you're building for the long term. But you've got to get those early wins and know what those early wins are going to be, but it has to be in agreement with your CRO.
Because nobody puts you onto the short list if they don't know you, right? And that's what you're talking about at the end there, right? There's 97% of the market. For most companies, they don't know who you are. They don't know enough to even articulate who you are, right? So if who you are is a recognized expert in the industry, right? That's what's going to get them to listen to you before they even know what it is that you do. And I think that's the point of that study. So tying in like today's brand is tomorrow's demand, that's what that means to me in a lot of respects.
Absolutely, that's what it means. And
yeah.
look, we could just model our own behavior as buyers of different types of products. I'm more inclined to open up an email or pay attention to an ad of a brand that I know in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's our behavior as consumers. And in B2B, it's especially true. Our emails will be opened. Our content will be read. Yes, the message has to be important, but if they're more familiar with your brand, you're going to be the one of the 250 emails that they're going to open. And it's building that trust. And if my content is really good that's getting delivered, they're going to want more. So then it just has this downstream impact as well, because they know what to expect from us. And that, that takes a lot of strategy and pre-planning and thinking about the sequencing and what you're going to deliver, but it's always around education because it's a value exchange with your buyers or whomever is your audience. And so the more that you can build that into your content strategy, the more effective your campaigns are and their performance. I was listening to, there was a conference that happened last week. They had this amazing session where they were talking about brand marketing. And because it is that thing that's really hard to defend because it may not be as tangible. But we got, as an industry, we've now latched on this whole performance marketing. Well, now they're saying, well, it's got to be performance branding. And I love that because it kind of has the same meaning, which is these things have to work to ultimately build pipeline and generate revenue for your organization. Right. And so I like the idea of performance brand because it does then legitimize the importance of brand to doing those exact things.